Example 4 gets into a little bit of a different situation because now I've got a secant. And we really haven't talked about how to do like an arc secant. So the first step that we have in all our problems is to convert everything to sines and cosines. And here are tangents, because you could use inverse tangent on your calculator. Here we know secant is the reciprocal of cosine. Secant is 1 over cosine. So we can convert this to cosine of x by taking the reciprocal. And the reciprocal is just flipping our numerator and denominator. Now I'm not going to rationalize the denominator because all I'm doing is I'm plugging this into the calculator. So when I look at this, I see, okay, cosine is going to be negative. What two quadrants is cosine negative? Well, cosine is going to be negative in 2 and 3. Now that I've got my equation in terms of sines, cosines, or tangents, I can take an arc cosine to both sides. Cosine and arc cosine cancel there. So x is equal to the arc cosine, or the cosine inverse of negative 5 divided by square root of 7. And if I do that, I run into a little error here that says domain error. So it looks like I'm going to have no solution to this equation. Domain error tells me my function is undefined and there is no cosine value that's negative 5 over square root of 7. So we want to check this graphically, and we need to go back to our original function to check that. So let's plug in to my y1. I obviously can't check this algebraically since there's nothing to plug in, but if we're going to check this graphically, in y1 we'll do 1 divided by the cosine of x, which you know is the secant of x. We can't plug secant directly in. And then we'll say y2 is going to be negative square root of 7 divided by 5. And there's my secant graph that I'm used to. And there's that cosine graph. Or not, excuse me, the negative square root of 7 over 5. Does that negative square root of 7 over 5 ever intersect that secant graph? And when you look at that, you say, no, it doesn't. So if I were to graph this out graphically, just the part from 0 to 360 degrees, my secant does that like it normally does. My second graph, when it comes through, is right there. There's no points of intersection. So y1 is 1 divided by the cosine of x. y2 is negative square root of 7 over 5. And you can see there is no intersection, which is why there is no solution.